Ms. Velez worked very hard with teachers across the grade levels, looking at the evidence statements. And in your packet with those scores, you'll have a link to parent resources. And they share these evidence statements. What were these questions? What standards did they cover? And they identified 2 standards in informational text and informational reading, where historically our kids performed at or a little below the state level. So they have a scattergram, and they looked at that, and they created benchmark assessments to monitor progress, focused on skill development, and then they outperformed the state by 10%. So there was growth there. They're still working. Teachers explored and implemented various online platforms, and that really resulted in individualized learning and targeted practice. We expanded, we know how that happened, our use of online resources, and there are more, this is not an exhaustive list. And we had a summer academy paid for through title funds to support the development of essential skills. That was an extension of the supplemental support program, the Title I program, and summer enrichment program, science extension, and inquiry and lab-based science instruction, which increased student achievement, student-centered, and student-directed learning. There's more. I won't go through each one because these are awesome. Lots of data-informed meetings. Teachers really working. I see the teachers at faculty meetings. Like I'm looking at Mrs. O and Mrs. Utel and Mrs. Coleman. I know at their faculty meetings what they're working on. I see the middle school, they're working in team meetings to really address some of this. And again, it's really important to remember that this is one test in one moment in time. It's like a Polaroid picture, it's a snapshot in time. But we use this because this is one data point in conjunction with some of the other testing. As you know, the kids took the NJSL Start Strong, the Start Strong recently. We have that data right away, so that's actionable as well. And we also have access and the dynamic learning maps. Our cohort of students who take this is less than 20. And look, you made it. I'm sorry, this is zooming. So please, I invite you to really look and play through this. And please do reach out and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you to our presenters for updating us on the information.
That concludes my reports.
Okay, next we're up to petitions and hearings of citizens for agenda items. If there's anybody that would like to come up, you may, we'll get the podium set up for you. If you have any comments on agenda items, you may come up to the podium now. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on with the report of the superintendent. And the first report is the Education Committee. Mrs. Fishbeck.
Agenda items 1 through 6 represent the Education Committee's recommendation. Number 1 is to approve the following KHS structured learning experiences for the life skills class in this school year. They're going to Farms View Road Stand and Lunch, Spirit of Halloween, Walmart and the Dollar Store, the Betsy Ross Diner, and the Roxbury Halloween Party. Number 2 is to approve field trips for this school year to Drew University and the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey for KHS on December 20th, which is in Madison, New Jersey. Number 3 is to approve the nursing service plan for this school year. Number 4 is to approve ancillary classroom materials for KHS as listed on the agenda. Number 5 is to approve a new course at KHS, which is Scientific Principles of Nutrition, D and A, grades 11 and 12, Aviation Program, grade 12, AP Physics C, Electricity and Magnetism, which is a full year class, and AP Physics C, Mechanics, which is a full year class. The number 6 is new textbook, Understanding Nutrition, edition 16.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? No? Okay, seeing none, Ms. King, will you pull the board?
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Fishbeck?
Yes.
Mrs. Morella?
Yes.
And Ms. Thomas?
Yes. Negotiations committee, there is nothing. Personnel committee, Mr. Petroselli.
Agenda items number 1 through 22 represent the personnel committee's recommendations will be voted upon as a group. Number 1 is approval of additional sick days. The next group, 2 through 9, I believe, are all leaves of absence. So you can take a look at those if you haven't done so already. On the next page, under number 10, we have a training level change in salary adjustment. Motion for personnel attachment A, which again, that went out prior to the meeting, so hopefully everybody had a chance to look at that. Number 11 is a revised salary for our athletic trainer. Number 12 is revised payments, and that's on personnel attachment B. 13 is also revised payments on personnel attachment C. That's 6th period classes. Number 14 is payment for Title I supplemental support programs, and those are listed there. Next page is a carryover of 4 vacation days under number 15, the appointment of our new transportation coordinator under number 16, revised administrative assistant salary under number 17, a payment for 2 hours of pay under number 18. Number 19 is the co-curricular list at KHS, that's personnel attachment D. 20 is the winter coaches and volunteers, personnel attachment E. And then appointment to substitute teacher is listed. If you go to page 7, you'll see at the top of page 7. And then an approval of observation for elementary ed, K-5 at Kill School. I have a motion to approve 1 through 22.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, Ms. King, will you pull the board?
Mrs. Fishbeck?
Yes.
Mrs. Morella?
Yes.
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
The Personnel Committee also has agenda item number 23, which was added to the agenda, and it's approval of a resignation of a paraprofessional teacher's aide at KHS. Motion to approve number 23.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, Ms. King, seeing none, Ms. King, will you pull the board?
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Morella?
Yes.
Mrs. Fishbeck?
Yes.
And Mrs. Thomas?
Yes. Policy Committee, agenda item number 1, represents Policy Committee's recommendation. The Kinnelon Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the 21-22 self-assessment for the anti-bullying Bill of Rights for the school district as presented. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. King, will you pull the board?
Mrs. Fishbeck?
Yes.
Mrs. Morella?
Yes.
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
And Mrs. Thomas?
Yes. Okay, Finance Committee, agenda items 1 through 11 represent the Finance Committee's recommendations and will be voted upon as a group. Number 1 is the Treasurer's Report for the month of September. Number 2 is the Secretary's Report for September. 3 is the budget transfers for September. 4, Secretary certification of budgetary line items. 5 is the Board's certification of budgetary line items. Number 6 is the bills list as indicated in the agenda. Number 7 is the reimbursement for teaching staff expenses as attached on Finance Attachment A. The Learn Well for students that need academic hospital instruction for $54 per hour for up to 10 hours. A portion of Jill Levinsky's salary will be coming from the fiscal year 23 IDEA grant. And number 10 is the resolution that was discussed in closed session, whereas the parents of a classified student filed the due process petition regarding their child, and whereas the parties have negotiated a settlement agreement resolving all disputes between them, including those over the student's placement, tuition, and costs relating to the due process proceeding. And whereas the settlement agreement is in the best interest of the district and will avoid the cost and uncertainty of litigation in this matter, it is hereby resolved this 27th day of October that the Board approves the settlement agreement that we have already reviewed in Exhibit A and authorizes the Board President to execute the agreement on behalf of the Board, and further resolved that with the approval of the agreement, district officials are hereby authorized to take all steps necessary to effectuate the terms of the agreement. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Keen, will you poll the board?
Mrs. Fishback?
Yes.
Mrs. Perrot?
Yes.
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
And Mrs. Coniston?
Yes. Items 11 and 12 were added to the agenda and will be voted upon as a group. The Kinnelon Board of Education accepts a donation from the Kinnelon High School's volleyball team. And also the Kinnelon Board of Education accepts a donation from the Kinnelon bowling team. May I have a motion to approve these?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? It's very generous, both teams. Okay, no discussion?
Mrs. Perrot?
Yes.
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Fishback?
Yes.
And Mrs. Coniston?
Yes. You want to read this one to me? Thanks.
For facilities and security, agenda items number 1 through 3 represent the committee's recommendations that will be voted upon as a group. Number 1 is the school bus emergency evacuation drills report. Number 2 is the comprehensive maintenance plan and maintenance budget. And number 3 is the monthly emergency drill report, and that's on facilities attachment A. Can I have a motion to approve those 3?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Ms. Keen, no discussion. Can you pull the board, please?
Mrs. Fishback?
Yes.
Mrs. Perrot?
Yes.
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Coniston?
Yes. Under Committee of the Whole, the Kinnelon Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the board and district goals for the 22-23 school year as per Committee of the Whole Attachment A, and as was briefed to during the meeting by the superintendent. And motion to approve the goals.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion on them? I've seen none. Ms. Keen, will you pull the board?
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Fishback?
Yes.
Mrs. Perrot?
Yes.
And Mrs. Coniston?
Yes. Move into committee reports. Personnel.
We did meet. We met on, look at my date was wrong on the main thing, but it was October 17th. So we discussed the open positions, and this was with Tony before Dave started. We talked about the PRM social studies root leave replacement, the Stony Brook 5th grade leave replacement, Kiel special ed. We talked about the math supervisor applications. And just so everybody knows on that one, we had 33 applications for that. We narrowed that down to the top 10, and now we're down to the top 5, and then Dave will be participating in that one. We talked about the transportation coordinator, which was on the agenda today. We talked about the athletic trainer as well. Let's see. And then we had correspondence from one parents that we reviewed. Again, that was in the minutes, so you can take a look at that, and that was it. We're meeting again, I believe, on November 8th.
Yep. Megan, education?
Right, Education Committee met last week. We talked about the curriculum spotlights that we're going to have coming up from the supervisors. We talked about the Start Strong and the NJSLA update. We just saw the NJSLA update. Thank you, Jody, for sharing that with everybody. About the KHS open house. We're really excited about that. I hope people who are here will spread the word to people who are not here. November 3rd. We would love to have students in there. We'd love to have clubs and teams and just all sorts of showcasing everything that KHS has that's so wonderful to offer to our kids and our families, and getting prospective students, 8th graders, or kids who may have moved out of district and be interested in exploring what we have to offer to come back in and check it out. We talked about a freshman seminar class, about a Title I supplemental program. We continue to talk about a 5-year plan where we're trying to begin with the end in mind and have kids create a plan where they can work backwards and figure out if they know they want to graduate with this certain set of courses or a certain set of experiences, how they work that backwards and start in 8th grade when they're planning their 9th grade schedule so that they don't find themselves without the prerequisites necessary in order to enroll in the classes or the activities that they're interested in. We talked about a theater arts program. We would love to have theater arts in the middle school and the high school. So we're going to shoot that over to both finance and personnel to see if we can make that work. But it'll be a really nice addition to our curriculum. And I'm forgetting one thing we talked about. Oh, exit surveys. Jody was going to work on exit surveys and just get a quick Google Doc. I know Mr. Mango said he's going to contact people and just find out why they leave district. We were just going to create a record of that. So hopefully they can send that in, or he can just jot it down for us so that we have a record of why people are leaving, and if it's something that we can improve upon, it's always great to learn. I don't think we actually have a huge problem with people leaving district, but whenever anyone leaves, you want to know, hey, what's going on? Are you moving? Are you going into a specialty that we just can't possibly offer because of the number of our students, or is there something here that we could really improve upon and learn from?
Excellent, thank you. Policy is meeting the 8th as well.
Yes, we have finance on the 2nd, and then we have policy, personnel, education, security all loaded up for the 8th.
Okay. So then finance will be meeting next week on the 2nd.